Namaste. My name is Teju, and I'm a psychologist, an Akashic record sealer, and a channeler. Uh, and in this video, let's gonna talk about the truth about Pitru Shaapa. As contrary of many people who believe that Pitru Shaapa is something which the people who have passed away from our lineage do Shapa in the soul form. It is not that. The Pitru Shapa or ancestral curse is something that happens when that ancestor is living in the human form and he, because of certain experiences, tells to himself or somebody in the family to do certain things and not to do certain things. And if we end up doing, there might be some consequences. And that is where, because he taught it with so much of gusto, that transforms that energy of what he thought is stored in his lineage, in his genetic makeup. And every person who is coming henceforth from that lineage has a small inkling towards being under the agreement of that particular thing, because oftentimes these are linked with failures, disappointments, or some pathways which can be like a directional guides. uh, People see it as something to do with bad things, and bad things they associate with curses, and curses, that's the reason people get scared that these people put shapa or curse or that kind of stuff. So for instance, when I worked with a couple of people, what I saw was there is a family where they were almost like a going, always moving from one place to another place in search of food. So they felt that the only way for us to survive is not being in our hometown, but always moving place to place for us to have some movement in our survival. So all the lineage in that, by chance or without their knowingness, have never stayed in their hometown or in the place of birth. They always migrated, and it's not just one place, they keep migrating to different places. Similarly, there is another person whom I worked with who has this strong inclination that we have to follow a particular um, regime of um, being a Brahmin, and we had to follow certain Vedic systems. If a person, anybody who leaves Veda and do any other profession will not flourish. So now the person who came to me has this question on why do I have to face this kind of problems? Because I'm quite educated, but I never feel successful. And why is it so? And when I had an opportunity to look into the ancestral part, I could understand that this is what their growth is associated with Veda, because that is something that ancestor has experienced in that lifetime. And similarly, if you look at other examples whom I worked also, it is very similar to it, wherein a person who had to, you know, uh, think about knowledge, and he said, in case if I'm sold by this knowledge, I'm not never gonna flourish. So every time I need to only give free knowledge. And these people in the same lineage never have money, but they're very strong teachers. They have a lot of wisdom to share, but always money is not a byproduct of sharing. They don't have inclination towards money or earning money when they have to share. Or even if they try to earn money by sharing wisdom and knowledge, it didn't work out for them. It doesn't work for them. And similarly, there are other couples whom I saw, which is like uh, anybody who is going on a ship or to someone. Those days it was more about ship and voyage. So anybody who goes away from the current place on business always will die. So these people have very high fear of flying, high fear of moving anywhere away from their place. So they're always homebound. So like this, there are multiple scenarios. If I just go, I keep going. But essentially, I want to give you confidence that the souls, when they pass away, They're very, very sweet. And if they are not earthbound, they're very, very sweet. There's no way they curse us. Instead, they're very understanding. They always bless us. So some things which they might be unhappy about is maybe a small feeling of they being hungry because we are not giving them those importance of feeding them on their special days or anniversaries, death anniversaries, and so on. Because for them, they feel so hungry at that time. But even then, when I spoke with uh, uh, souls, they were very understanding. They were, I know my son loves me. I'm sure they would have forgotten. So can you please ask them to keep a thing at Gaya Prayaga so that they don't have to do this every year rituals. In that mode they were, but they were never like, I'm gonna curse them that because of my hunger and because of my thirst. So they were mostly requestful in nature, but not like cursing. But unfortunately, I don't know. I have no proof to say this, but uh, maybe in case if we say that there's no curse or fear, for at a en masse for people to follow rules, fear is one big motivation, right? In case if we say if you don't do this, there might be a high possibility of your whole lineage getting cursed. People may take actions about what is rightfully their duties to perform in celebration of the deceased loved ones. And maybe because of that, they induced fear. But in fact, it's not out of fear that we need to adhere to these rituals of honoring our ancestors, but with gratitude and with celebration. Without them, we are not there. So, whatever are the journeys we had, they had in multiple other ways multiple years earlier to us, and all of that have a small there is a small gene in us that is coming from them, and that is rich with their experiences also. So in gratitude about all of this, and immediate ancestors like parents, grandparents, they have played a major role in our life, no matter how good bad they were to us. So without them we don't exist. So in honoring that, maybe it's good to uh, uh, give them food, water, and at least yearly once remind them, remember them in our memories, and say gratitude and pray for their goodwill, for their sadgati, for their transition into smooth places. I think that's a great way to look at all of this instead of getting scared about um, Pitru curses or ancestral curses. Invariably, how do we, in case if we think that we are under the spell of ancestral curse, I'll be making another video on how do we help ourselves to remove that. So please watch out for it. And if you feel if there are certain instances that you may want to share with your experiences, just please message me on YouTube or wherever this you see this video, so that in case if there is a answer I have, I can make it in a video or I can respond to you, so that you can also be assured that you're not, you're good, you, you're fine. And in case if you feel you're under the spell, please when the subscribe, so that whenever I make the video about that, you'll get a notification and you can watch it and see what are the things you can do to clear yourself from that curse. All right. But please rest be assured that you won't be cursed because of your deceased loved ones, no matter whom you know it in this lineage or your ancestral people, or you may not know it. They are very sweet, so they are worthy of our gratitude, honoring their birth, honoring their existence on this earth, and their contribution in our lives. Okay, so namaste, Sagamji, Jagdambarpanamastu.